Now we're live. Hey guys, it's Monica Kelsey with Safe Haven Baby Boxes and my husband Joe. As many of you guys have seen on the page today, that I lost my dad today, and it's probably one of the hardest days, but I wanted to share something with you. So, promised myself I wouldn't cry during this, but I guess I'm going to. So, we've been working with a mom out of New Jersey, and we ask for people that were wanting to adopt, and we got some great responses, and today I kind of got pushed back, not because of my dad, that was like being thrown back, but one of the families that had actually sent their information. And I'm not trying to degrade this family at all. It's not what I'm doing when I say this, but happening on a day like today when I lose my dad really kind of set me back a little bit and made me realize how blessed I really am. And so this family that sent us information on the adoption had parameters. And when I say parameters, I mean they only wanted certain kinds of babies. They only wanted, a mom that had prenatal care, or a mother that didn't do drugs or didn't drink alcohol, or basically they wanted a perfect pregnancy and a perfect child. And so I get home tonight. I've been with my mom all day, of course, and my family. And I get home and I read this email from this family that wants to adopt, and they were laying out their parameters. And I have to tell you, this made me sad. This really made me sad because when my birth mom was 17, you guys know my story. Most of you guys know my story. But my birth mom was 17 years old. She was brutally attacked and raped and left along the side of the road. And this was, of course, in August of 72, when abortion was illegal in our country. And because it was illegal in our country, that saved my life. And she pressed charges against, the man who had raped her, and he was arrested and he was charged. And then she finds out she's pregnant, and, she was taken out of high school. And then 3 months later, this is something that I really don't talk about too much, but 3 months after she was raped, her dad had a massive heart attack and died at the age of 49. And so here she was 17, she was raped. She was dealing with a case, and then her dad dies, and her life was in turmoil, literally just a mess. And so she turned to alcohol and she turned to drugs, and then she was hidden for the entire pregnancy. She wasn't even allowed to go to my grandfather's funeral, and she was hidden for the remainder of the pregnancy. And then, of course, gave birth and abandoned me 2 hours after I was born. And she turned to drugs and alcohol after her father died. And so seeing this today, this message today from these parents that want to adopt, that are with an adoption agency, and they lay out the parameters, and they say, the birth mom has to have had prenatal care and no drugs and no alcohol in her system and no mental illness. And every one of those was my life. My birth mom did drugs. My birth mom drank alcohol. She was in complete turmoil. Depression hit. She had no prenatal care, and then she abandoned me at birth. And so reading this from this adoptive family, this family that wants a baby so bad they'll do anything for a child, but yet they won't do anything for a child like I was. And I just think that families that want the perfect child is missing probably the biggest blessing that they could ever get. You know, Monday we got the call that my dad was only going to last a few more days, and then he was going to kiss the face of Jesus, and you know, it's as happy as I am that he's not in pain and that he's in heaven. I decided that I was going to dedicate my book to my parents, and so I want to read to you what I sent to the publisher on Monday, because I want this adoptive family to hear from me, hear my words as a child who would have never fit their parameter. But it said, this is the dedication page of my book to my parents, and it says, "For my parents, Mom and Dad, thank you for your fierce and unconditional love. I'm so grateful that when you were called on June 8th of 1973 about a baby girl who needed a home, you responded without hesitation, saying, 'Bring me my daughter.' They didn't care that I had drugs in my system. They didn't care that there was alcohol in my system. They didn't care of my beginnings. They didn't know. But they sure didn't have parameters. And because they didn't have parameters, I have been so blessed. I have been so blessed."
Well, I'm one of the ones that have been blessed also, because I wouldn't have ever met this beautiful woman, and I wouldn't have had a beautiful daughter with her and two beautiful stepchildren. So everything she said is true, because you know, life is great, and
We're blessed.
everyone deserves a life.
It deserves a chance.
Yeah.
You know, without shame, without judgment. You know, this mom that is in New Jersey, you know, she's a hero. She's an absolute hero for choosing life for her child and then basically saying, "I want what's best for my child, and it's not me." And I just felt called to come on tonight. This is not Tuesday or Thursday nights from Beyond the Box, but tonight I wanted to come to you because I wanted you to know that when you set parameters, you could possibly be missing the biggest blessing of your life.
Amen.
And for the child, because if I wouldn't have had the father that I had or the mother that I had, I wouldn't be able to do what I do today for the women and the children that we help every single day. And so if you take anything away from tonight, I hope you take away that you should never have parameters for a child that you are praying to receive. God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much for reaching out to us today, and for your love and your support and your prayers. This is by far one of the hardest things that I've had to go through, losing my dad, which was my biggest supporter, especially for the baby boxes. But thank you guys, and obviously we're going to be taking a few days off. We won't be here tomorrow night. But just pray for us as we walk this journey without my dad. So God bless you guys.
Good night, everyone.
My nose is running.